Hi guys, welcome back to Eunoia Health Tech. Hey, look, we're here with Brett, our co-host and co-founder of Eunoia Health Tech.
Oh,
Welcome to Eunoia Health Tech. We are on our first day of creating our independent gardening. Guys, let's not make a big deal of this. Urban living and sustainability is just as bad as rural sustainability. Except we got more options. We got more options to bread, fat, and sugar. Starting with this, you will have to spend about 60 bucks between soil, a planter, and seeds. So, I'm not even going to plant yet. I'm prepping. This is prep. This is what you'll buy, essentially. So that way you can do both outside and inside gardening. So when you want to bring it in for winter or the fall, you have this. It's the whole idea.
and this is us just getting started. I want to acknowledge David here too for us. Before we
And
connected, you showed me
we
everything he
got
had
one
started to get.
bag of Miracle Grow regular soil. It's not all that expensive, but you start where you can. Now, our goal between Jung Powers and Associates LLC, Buell Harding Art Holdings LLC, All Flags International, and a couple other partners are going to buy land out in Tennessee. But if you can't, that's where you start, right? And you can do that every year. I haven't brought the seeds out yet, but we're starting with what we can. So I have a trowel. I'm going to basically pour some soil in here. And then I'm going to go get the seeds. I'll come back. And we'll be able to grow our food. It's just one step at a time, guys. And as promised, we have our seeds. We have a multitude. We have okra.
Ooh,
We have tomato big boys hybrids. We have hot pepper, cayenne. We have cucumber.
hey,
We have Hungarian yellow hot pepper. Beets. Granted, guys, beets were never my favorite in a can. Small Copenhagen market early small cabbage. And onion.
I have to say too, I'll acknowledge too, David. Growing up, beets were not my favorite either, but they grew on me. Like so, and I believe they're even being used now in supplements, as they have, I think, for a good period of
Yeah, they're
time.
well
Again,
higher in iron.
okay.
So now I'm basically going to open said bag. Take this out.
David, while you're doing that, I'm going to take some time here to let our listeners know that they can also go ahead and check out our overall continuing on campaign to build 100 tiny homes in Tennessee on over 1,200 acres. And that's to allow individuals to be the possibility of purpose, recreation, and personal transformation. And what that looks like is what that is. Whether they want to be able to learn a skill like this whether they want to be able to look into entrepreneurship.
I'm here. You can't see the planter right now, but all I'm basically doing is I poured the whole bag of topsoil into the container. We're going to pick out a couple seeds and we're just going to plant them. And then let nature do its thing. So hence we got the trowel and the shovel. Yeah, water in here. Yep. So we're gonna do that one. Do cucumber. Maybe not do cucumber. Do that one. Alright, we're going to plant 3 of them. The reason for this is because we have a very shallow bed and they only need to be planted about 1/4 inch deep or 3/4 inch deep, and that's what we're starting with, guys. The rest of them need trestles or tomato plant hangers or whatnot to actually let them grow and grow upwards. So that's why we're using these. These are a little less. And then we're going to just spread them and then let them grow. And in about 2 weeks, we'll start seeing something grow. And the reason why I read them is because I wanted to see if the bright sunny area is what we're looking for. So cool shaded area is going to have to be done a little differently this time. We're getting more pots and soil. This was just the first initial ones so that we had something growing, because we are JP&A Agricultural Cooperative with Eunoia Health Tech, which is food is as medicine, right? That's what we've been doing on LinkedIn for the past month. We have over 1,500 subscribers at this point. Guys, I put 7 days of posts out at once, just because we started 3 months in, and because I want to give you variety. I understand it's a lot, and there might be 7 emails in your emails. You know, if just take a look at them. Take your time. Well, we're giving you variety in spurts, kind of how we operate, right? So I'm going to start putting these seeds in, get my hands dirty, and go from there. Brett, take it on.
Yeah, absolutely. Again, just want to re-acknowledge here as we're continuing to have this session here that if you haven't, you can go ahead and look at our overall initiative, and that is at our website. You can go ahead and check that out. You can also see and learn more on our GoFundMe, which we've had ongoing since October of 2024. And it's to allow individuals to really learn a skill or trade to pivot in their careers, if that is what they choose. And with that, they'll be able to, for themselves, be the possibility of purpose, recreation, and personal transformation.
Hey guys, we're back again. We got our paper bags used from the store. Reason for this, you just put it right over the top. I'm gonna rip this in half.
Oh,
And there you go, guys. That's it. We planted 3 seeds, well, 3 packets of seeds, and we're gonna go. Now just wait and let nature do its thing.
yeah. That's
That's
the
it.
interesting part about gardening too, David, is some people after they're at this point, they feel like they have to do something with it, right? They feel like they have to influence,
Well,
right? You get it. Yeah. And it doesn't mean you can't go out and look at it. Doesn't mean you can't, you know what I'm saying? Like that's just one thing. Yeah. Honoring it's one thing, but then trying to influence its growth, I think that's a whole nother one. Yeah.
well, you talk to it like anyone else.
I remember too back in science class there was the thing about someone playing their instrument for the plants that they would have growing at home, like even house plants. And I think it's been disproven, debunked, and whatnot. But it's just an interesting thing that still comes up. I think even within the educational system to be able to talk about this, because I think that's another thing too. Did you really learn this in K through 12?
We did. Well, at least I did in camp.
Okay, but through the public school system.
That was an elementary thing, I believe.
Okay, gotcha.
You know the small tomato plants that come in their saplings. That's what you
Hmm.
start with,
Yeah, I
guys. We
mean,
just started with seeds. That's all.
I feel like education for this kind of began more at the state level and community levels. I think there's one
Yeah.
initiative that's out there right now, or was 4-H. And
EA is another good program to be, and we're going to be taking advantage of that.
mhm.
We're going to be taking a lot of advantage of a lot of the programs that are out there, guys. Um, but it's really just starting what you have. You know, I'm not here to break records. I'm here to create possibility, and that's what we just did. We planted 3 different types of plants in one area. I get you're supposed to do it further. We're here creating food so that way, a food source so that way you're not relying on the food store if it goes blank. Why do you think I got a whole bunch of seeds? If you guys don't prepare, you won't be ready when things happen. If you wait to the last minute, you won't be ready to act when necessary.
Yep.
It's the parable of the five candles with the women who had oil and the five candles that didn't. We want to be with the ones with the oil. Now the oil may be low. Okay, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that's an abundance. It doesn't have to be. It just has to be something.
Yeah, I'll take some
We all
time here
want
too.
everything in abundance. Not everything's in abundance. Whether you're homeless, whether you're low income, whether you're a veteran, whether you're elderly, disabled, we get it. That's why we're here. That's really the whole mission behind our mission. It's to help anyone and everyone survive what is about to come. And I don't know day nor hour of anything of the apocalypse or anything like that. I believe in a lot of that stuff, but no one knows the day nor hour. But if it doesn't come, at least we'll have a somewhat of a garden this year. And that's what matters, really. Saying that you'll be able to do something. And nothing more, nothing less.
Being that possibility. I'll take some time here too, David, to acknowledge that BUR Holdings, as you've heard, maybe people are wondering all about that. They also have an agricultural branch now too that is for profit called BUR Farms. So we're also not just trying to do this because of what it is that we want to have as a stand, I think, but what is so in the world is more and more people are turning to this. I think there are more social media influencers now that are out in the communities, are out in nature. And it's amazing too to see legislation also being changed around, say, even the National Parks Association. Some of my greatest, I think, breakthroughs that I had in my life, at least thankfully being here in the United States, was first of all being able the opportunity to be here, being able to be born here. Another one is I can say this so far, is being able to have agriculture, and not just agriculture, but for the forests in my life. It's not only influenced my overall sense of being, but even in my when I was matriculating or I was educating at the university, it made a difference, and not just in my overall growth itself. I think easily more at relationships, being able to see what then it can look like into groups and then communities and then organizations and institutions. And then from there, it had its impact leading into society and where I exist in society. And not just me, I think anyone. And that's just my story. And there are millions, hundreds of millions of Americans or people who have, I'm sure there's even more, who have visited and had and seen the national parks. And we're about to approach one of the literally busiest seasons that usually does have. It's around the summertime, not all the time. So I think with this overall initiative, we're looking at not just the preservation of the land. We've mentioned acquiring the over 1,200 acres. Majority of that is to be for preservation purposes. It's one of our words as Eunoia Health Tech. I feel as I can speak for BUR Farms as well. And I don't want to speak for Junk Powers and Associates and their overall agricultural branch, but I feel like it's paramount for us to be able to kind of preserve this overall. Not for some, it may be a hobby, and for others, it's been a way of business for multi generations. And it's dwindling out. It's the system. There's what's working and what's not working to be able to keep continuity. I think in this industry in agriculture for sure, and not just people who are planting plants. All different kinds of husbandry is another area too. Whether a poultry, and it depends on your overall branch. I'm sure there's divides even within this overall conversation as well. And I would request, put that aside. Look at what is really so. Look at what was and what is now. And what is even more is if we go even further back, and again, do your own research, a lot of the agriculture that we have, I feel, is based from around Native Americans and what we learned from them when we came over.
We got corn from them.
I think we got what's called the
them.
Three Sisters and more. The ability to not just know what to grow and how to grow it, but also seeing how they grew together. And it's amazing too, the stories that can kind of come from this as well. And not just stories as to be a story. I think overall it's what is so. It's how nature has had its own way of being able to produce whatever it has been able to produce. And based upon uh for the great, I believe Native Americans had believed in the Great Spirit. So, and it seems to be all throughout the world there is agriculture. We are all using this as a mode that helps not only just ourselves, but I think helps to nourish communities as well too. And I think we not just use this as the physical act. I think nourishment can be given in all different ways. I think to be able to find a way to redistribute. And it's the same thing that I think the overall seeds that you just planted are going to do as well. There's going to be the overall variables that they're up against. So, and it's the sense of being.
Well, guys, that's what we're about. Now we'll wait in 2 weeks and see what grows.
Yeah.
And every so often
Hey,
I'll water it. Hopefully we'll have onions and cucumbers and peppers.
in the meantime, too, again, we encourage you, and of course, in nonviolent means, but please let your legislators know. Let your politicians know at federal, state, and local what you think about the integrity of this, what it's like, the impact. And if some don't want to get into gardening and hobbying, well, okay. Then that can still be a conversation I feel like you could still have. But it
At
seems
least
this
the
is
food
becoming,
side of it. Yeah, the food
well,
source. It's what
correct. Well, this is
matters,
becoming
right?
at least a conversation with specific individuals or families here within the United States as well, or social
Essentially, that's
structure.
why we're doing it. We want to be self-sustainable.
And my goodness, from what I've seen from American history so far, and I can't say I know it all, but I feel like that was one of the first goals was to be self-sustainable.
Yeah.
Yep.
Guys, we're going to end it here. But look on Eunoia Health E23 at wixsite.com.
Please
And then
be
there's
continue to be a source of
JPNA
peace.
Interdependence Inc.
Yeah.
at .org. We're looking to see you come to the link, which is $910 per person. And it starts on the 22nd. The full 36-hour course starts on the 24th at 8 a.m. So go give us a shout out, visit our web pages, and we hope to see you there. Bye for
Yeah.
now.
Peace, peace, and peace.